Let's go on the record. Today is Wednesday, June 4th, 2025. Time is 12:55 p.m. My name is Ken Sire. I am a regulatory law judge with the Missouri Public Service Commission, and I will preside over this portion of the hearing today. The Commission has set this time for a local public hearing here at St. Joseph to give members of the public a chance to comment about Spire's application to adjust its natural gas rates. It is Commission case number GR-2025-0107. The Commission regulates the rates charged by public utility companies in Missouri to ensure that those rates are just and reasonable. The Commission also regulates the quality of service and safety of the operations of public utilities. The Commission normally has 5 commissioners. However, there is currently an unfilled vacancy on the Commission, so there are currently 4 commissioners. The commissioners are appointed by the governor and confirmed by the Senate. The Commission employs a staff of engineers, accountants, attorneys, financial analysts, and other specialists in the field of utility regulation. With me today is Commissioner John Mitchell. Also participating online is the chair of the Commission, Kayla Hahn, as well as Commissioner Maida Coleman and possibly Commissioner Glenn Kolkmeyer. The commissioners have not made any decisions in this case and cannot answer any questions today because they have to remain impartial until after all the evidence is presented at the evidentiary hearing in this matter, which is scheduled to take place beginning August 4th. At this time, Commissioner Mitchell, would you like to make an opening statement?
I sure would. Thank you, Judge. And good afternoon. And on behalf of Chair Hahn and the entire Public Service Commission, I would like to welcome you and thank you for being here. This series of local public hearings is the first step in the Commission's mission to fact find and evaluate Spire's request. And it's an important step because it's the first time that we get to hear from you, the consumers. Your testimony is very important to us. It helps us to make the best decisions that we can. I know that sometimes it can be a little bit intimidating to speak in public, but I would encourage you to do so, because the more information that we can gather from you, the better decisions we can make. If you happen to think of something that you would have said or wanted to say or didn't get a chance to say, or if you have friends or neighbors that would like to make comment and couldn't be here today, the judge will have instructions for us on how to file those comments in writing with the Commission. And so, again, I appreciate you being here and welcome your comments.
Thank you, Commissioner. As you know, there are attorneys here today representing the parties in this matter. And so for the sake of the record, would each of you identify yourselves and state which party you're representing, beginning with Spire?
Good afternoon. Antonio Arias on behalf of Spire Missouri, Inc.
All right. And on behalf of the staff of the Commission?
Good afternoon. Andrea Hansen on behalf of the Missouri Public Service Commission.
And on behalf of the Office of Public Counsel?
John Kleiser on behalf of the Office of Public Counsel. Thank you.
All right. Okay, the way we will proceed today will be to call the names listed on the sign-up sheet in the order that you signed up. When I call your name, please step up to the podium. I will place you under oath and ask you to state and spell your name, and then you can offer your comments to the Commission. Today we will try to limit comments to 3 minutes per person. Once you finish your comments, please remain at the podium in case there are questions from the commissioners or the attorneys for the parties. So, the first name on the list is Richard Sharp. Mr. Sharp, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Would you raise your right hand, please? Thank you. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give today in this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And could you go ahead and, you can put your
Yes,
hand
sir.
down now. Can you go ahead and state and spell your name?
That's Richard, R-I-C-H-A-R-D, Sharp, S-H-A-R-P.
All right. Go ahead with your comments.
Okay, and I'm not trying to make anybody mad, but I hope I hit some nerves, okay? I have 7 points. I'll make them in a lot less than 3 minutes, and if someone wants to come back and contradict me, please do. Number 1 is, has there ever been a rate increase from the utility companies that the commissioners didn't or don't like? Number 2, do the commissioners have any idea of what percentage increases they have approved for the utility companies and dumped on the public? Number 3, oh, and in case you didn't, 63% has been proposed. Whatever, I'll just give the benefit of the doubt and say you're not going to get what you propose, so it'll probably be a 40%, okay, and that's just a guess. Number 4 is, do the utility companies maintain any reserves to maintain their business? The reason I ask this is because as a business owner, when I make improvements to my business or my personal property, I can't just go to a customer and ask for a 10 to 60% increase in prices, or I would be out of business. Perhaps some of the executives could reduce their multi-six-figure salaries to help pay for some of the bills. Why would you schedule a meeting at noon while the majority of people are at work? Number 5. I think we all know that answer. I don't need an answer to that. Number 6, the commission and the government officials from top down should be ashamed of themselves that they have no regard for their constituents or their customers. They resolve problems at the trough of the taxpayer. Number 7, I wish the press was here. I don't know if they are, but please, if they are, please do your public duty and not just say there was a meeting at City Hall for Spire Gas increases. Utility companies and government officials dumping on the public, report the truth, and stop them. At least let the public be informed of the gross inefficiency of the utility companies and our commissioners. Now, I say these things, folks, because you people just think it's an endless pot of money. You run a business as though as soon as I need money, all I need to do is just ask for that. You may not get 15%, but you probably didn't expect 15%. You just ask for some number because the commissioners are going to give you something, all right? We out here don't get to go to Social Security, of which I'm on, and ask for a 10% expect 5. We usually get about 2. And so you folks need to run your business as a business and stop expecting the taxpayer to pay your bills on everything that you do. You should have some kind of reserves out there, and I will just say this as a last comment. I have checked this, the absorbent salaries that you people make at the top levels, and I'll tell you, I mentioned it at the last utilities thing that I had, and as I recall, just off the top of my head, $800,000 a year. Now, you commissioners need to put a stop to this. 63% of rate increase asked. I don't know what you're going to give them. I'm talking about all utilities combined. Where do we get something? Okay, and so I'll leave you with that thought. And I appreciate your time and I appreciate your effort. Spire, I don't have a thing against you. Okay, as a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you, you're the cheapest utility that we've got. All right? I'm telling you from a consumer that we're getting pretty fed up out here with utility companies coming back. Every year, I want some kind of a raise. I know yours has been 3 years, but it's pretty consistent between the water companies and the sewer bills and the this bill and the that bill. And as I said, add them up. Don't take my word for it. I took it right off your web pages. 63% is what you folks have asked of the public. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you, Mr. Sharp. Could you stay there for just a second? Are there any questions from the commissioners? All right. Thank you, Mr. Sharp.
Thank you.
The next name on the list, I'm not even going to attempt, but the first name is Russell.
I didn't figure you'd try.
All right. Could you go ahead and raise your right hand, please?
Yeah.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give today in this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do to the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you would, go ahead and state and slowly spell your last name.
Yes, Russell Watkowitz, WOJTKIEWICZ. And I'm not from St. Joe, I'm from Parkville, Missouri.
Go ahead.
I stand in opposition to any and all rate increases, especially this egregious proposal for recovery of infrastructure investments, inflationary costs, costs of services, weather, and conservation impacts. What a load of complete bovine scantology, to quote the great General Schwarzkopf. As I look back and analyze Spire invoices, I find that the charges for the product they are in the business to sell and deliver to me is at best 50% of the total of the invoice, and at worst, only 22% of their billing. Spire lists delivery and distribution charges on each monthly bill. These include a customer's charge of $20 per meter. Thank goodness I've only got one. Summer usage when using less than 50 CCF, whatever the heck that measurement actually is. Winter usage, which is on the same bill as the summer usage. Pipeline upgrade charge, ISRS, for 20 out of 29 days. A second pipeline upgrade charge for 9 of 20 days. And WNAR, which I got earlier, defined what that is, but it sounds like it's summer and winter usage charges, just another way to add another dollar to my bill. My current invoice, dated 5/22/25, has a total gas charge of $9.32. I have lived in the same home since October of 1984 and remember some summer months billing to be a total of $13 to $15 because, of course, we are only using a hot water heater and a cooking range. Now my bills are at least $40 and have exceeded $275 because of all the extra line charges, not particularly the cost of gas being supplied. What we have here is a chicken and egg conundrum. If Spire doesn't build the infrastructure, then Spire cannot sell me its supposed product, natural gas. But as I see it, Spire is no longer a utility supplying natural gas to customers, but a delivery and distribution company that perhaps should be regulated in an entirely different manner and face more regulatory scrutiny and costs. If Spire is a natural gas supplier to residential and commercial customers, then let them operate with oversight on a margin of cost versus retail price and allow us, the consumer, to choose from more than one company, energy supplier, or a form of energy. Also, I also put a lot of this on I'm going to cut my short because I see I'm down to nearly the 3 minutes. The commission needs to also deny these rate increases and try to come up with some reform of the way we're billed for the kilowatt hour, for the pound of gas. It's got to be a lot easier, cheaper, and more predictable for us in budgeting. And I will leave it with my thoughts there.
All right, thank you, Mr. Watkowitz.
Yes, very good.
Are there any questions from the commissioners? All right, hearing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the list is Richard Underwood II. Would you raise your right hand, please? Thank you. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give today in this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you.
My
If
name
you
is
would, yeah, go ahead and
My
state
name
and
is Richard
spell.
Underwood. My last name is spelled UNDERWOOD.
And Richard's your first name?
Richard.
Yes, okay. Go ahead.
I've noticed after all the years, my meter's never had a broke. It's never broken. And you put out the expense of putting new meters on all these homes. And without even permission, I come home and I have a new meter on my house. And it's a digital meter, which is running some source of electricity, which is vulnerability of visibility throughout my home due to the technology inside of it. And instead of spending the money and putting all these on every home in America, making sure they're all there, instead of repairing the pipelines that need more repaired, then we needed meters that never needed to be replaced because they weren't broken in the beginning. That's all I have to say.
All right. Any questions? All right. All right, next on the list is Peter Osentowski. How'd I do? Oh, I got a thumbs up. All right, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. Go ahead.
Peter Osentowski, Osentowski.
All right, thank you.
So we're looking to changed the charge for IRIS, which is infrastructure upgrade. And in 2003, I think the commission enacted this IRIS charge for infrastructure upgrade. But I look at Spire's financial reports, and the second quarter of this year, gas utility growth reflects higher Missouri IRIS revenues of 8.7 million. So is it an infrastructure upgrade or a revenue stream that we're talking about here? Because if I look at Spire's financials, they're using IRIS as an revenue stream and not actually just infrastructure upgrade. I understand they sell gas for no markup, but it's a company driven, and it's a public company, so they're paying shareholders dividends, 55, 65, I believe, and they have to get their profits from the upper line, and that's what we're talking here, WNAR, IRIS, and delivery charges and meters. That's their profit center. So now we're talking about bumping the profit center 15% on IRIS when they're already making a profit because they're telling their shareholders they're making more profit in Missouri on IRIS. And actually in their outlook, they want to, Spire, Missouri, 7 to 8% rate growth is an outlook to their shareholders because they want to drive revenue 5 to 7%. It's a company, I understand we have growth, but we also have inflation rates and we have to somewhere be close to each other. And 15% is not close to 3. That's all I have to say.
All right. And Mr. Underwood, when you're referring to IRIS, is that ISRS?
Yes.
Okay. All right, any commissioner questions? All right, hearing none, thank you. Next on the list is Carrie Neiswanger. Thank you. Would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give today in this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I absolutely do.
All right, thank you. Could
All
you go
right.
ahead and state and spell your name?
Oh, yeah, that part. My name is Carolyn Neiswanger, Carolyn. My last name is Neiswanger, N as in Nancy, Iswonger. My name is different on the list. I'm so sorry, use my nickname. Well, first, good afternoon, esteemed members of the commission and staff members and council from various offices and organizations. I can't thank you all for being here today and giving me the opportunity to speak. I really do appreciate you coming to our communities and allowing us to share our thoughts. And I will apologize to Forrest, I am using my phone. I hope that you'll forgive me. So I'm sure that I'll be echoing a lot of what my fellow constituents have to say, so I will keep this short and sweet. But I'm here today as a concerned ratepayer and member of the public who is deeply alarmed by and in opposition to the proposed rate increase. Right now, people in our communities are struggling to keep up with the cost of living. Rent is high, groceries are expensive. Families are making the impossible choice every day to pay the utility bill or fill a prescription, putting food on a table. And yet Spire, an essential utility company with a considerable monopoly over this critical service, is proposing to raise rates once again. We're not talking about a company that is barely scraping by. This is not about survival for them. It's about profit. The people that are paying the price for that profit are the families who rely on you to heat their homes, to cook their food, and to take care of their kids. Now, let's be clear. Energy is not a luxury. It is a human need, and it should be treated that way. Raising rates in this economic climate is not just irresponsible, it is immoral. This disproportionately impacts our most vulnerable, which consists of the elderly, low-income families, those who are on fixed incomes, and people with disabilities. And it sends a clear message that corporate profits matter more than people's lives. I urge the commission to deny this rate hike. If Spire wants to earn public trust, it should look inward and before asking struggling families to shoulder more of the burden. We deserve an energy system that works for the people and not one that extracts every dollar from them. Thank you all again so very much for the opportunity to speak today.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the commissioners? All right, hearing none, thank you. Next on the list is Lynn Stroh. Strow.
My name is actually Lynette, Lynnette, Strough, Strough.
All right, and before you go any further, could I swear you in?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've got your right hand raised for the sake of the record. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give today in this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you.
I'm going to piggyback on what a lot of my fellow concerned citizens have said. And basically it's coming down to, and I said it before, how often are you guys actually checking your pipelines?
I'm sorry, what, checking their what?
Their pipeline.
Okay,
The reason why I'm asking, and someone just brought it up a little bit ago.
just a second.
Oh,
I hate to interrupt you.
sorry.
Yeah, yeah, and there you go.
I'm trying to
Perfect.
get comfortable, trying to be nicer than I was earlier.
That's all. I wasn't here for that, but I do appreciate that.
But a gentleman just brought up that they're being, we're giving money to Spires on our bills about the infrastructure and everything, okay? So we really can't say, hey, they need a 14% raise or 15% raise here so we can go back and take care of those pipelines. And it's basically coming down to they're just wanting to get a raise for their shareholders and themselves. And I noticed that there is a little bit of conflict of interest on this because the Missouri School Board Association, I think we're also, as citizens of the state of Missouri or any state, we already give in taxes to the boards of education, all right? So having a little bit of issues saying, hey, that, you know, since they're part of owning an investment in Spires, that they need to have more given to them in profit. And then I also had brought up, because it was said that they're needing to put on new meters on the house. Well, I was at work and I had to come home to have a new meter put on, and it had already been put on. But they said that there need too much more new meters on the homes, and they've already done it. So my thought is, please don't approve this raise, this $14 basically a month. I mean, I'm on Social Security, that don't mean nothing. And like the other person says, sorry about that, we're done. But that was my 3 minutes time. Okay?
All right. Thank you, Ms. Stroh. Are there any questions from the commissioners? All right, thank you. Next name on the list is Diane Waddle. All right, Ms. Waddle.
Diane Waddell.
You've got your right hand raised. I appreciate that. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, thank you.
All right, thank you. And if you could, state and spell your name.
Diane Waddell, Dianewaddell.
All right, go ahead.
So I come here to represent myself as well as a group called Ecumenical Eco-Justice, the eco standing for environment as well as economics. But we stand with persons of lower income and persons who are fixed income, who are often health challenged. So persons of lower or fixed income and those persons who are health challenged would be disproportionately affected by rate hikes. I've worked as a nurse practitioner for many years in a free clinic here in St. Joseph and have sat with patients. Even though we give them free health care, they don't always get their medications free, so they come in and maybe only take half their diabetic medications or even none of their medications. They've had to make choices between food or utilities or medication. So I've seen that firsthand. One time I was volunteering, taking Christmas gifts actually to children whose parents were incarcerated, and I know this wasn't directly related to natural gas, but the only heat which appeared to be in the home was small room heaters with these little children running around, and those two events just have stayed in my memory for persons who particularly need help, need to be supported, and don't need rate hikes for their utilities. So I would appreciate that you would remember justice issues and those disproportionately affected by rate hikes. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Any questions? All right, hearing none, that's the last name on the list, but are there any people here in the room that did not sign up but would like to testify? All right. If you have further comments after the hearing, or if you would prefer to submit written comments, you may submit them via the Commission's website. It is psc.mo.gov. On the right side of the homepage, there's a link entitled Submit Comments. If you click on that link to submit your comments, just make sure that you reference this case number, which is GR-2025-0107. Commissioner Mitchell, would you like to make any closing remarks?
Sure, Judge. Again, on behalf of the commission, thank you for being here, and we appreciate your testimony. All of the information that you've provided us this afternoon is very valuable to the commission and helps us make the best decisions that we can. So again, thank you for being here and sharing your time with us.
All right, and I would like to also thank you for your participation today. This hearing is now adjourned, and we're off the record.